prime factorization.
We can't see the top of your sheet.
This is part 2 of 3-3. So last week we talked about prime numbers. What's a prime number? Tell me. One in itself, right? One and itself is a prime number. And then composite numbers are all the other numbers that have tons of factors. Okay? So today we are going to start with a number like 84. And the directions are going to be to find the prime factorization. So a lot of times in, I think, 4th or 5th grade, you do a factor tree. Do you guys remember a factor tree? Well, it's okay. We're going to do it together. So whether you remember it or not, now it will be fresh in your mind. So prime factorization means you write the number as a product of prime numbers. So that means I have to break down 84, which is a composite number, into only prime numbers. So I have to find out what factors go into it that are primes, which is why if you have this worksheet, these are the numbers we're going to want to use. We want to use 2s, 3s, 5s, 7s, all of our prime numbers. We also did a divisibility book, remember that? To help us remember some things just by looking at 84. I may not know what goes into 84, but there were some clues in our divisibility book that will help us pick a number. Does anybody have a number they think will go into 84? What do you think? 2, because it's even. It ends in a 4, right? So that means 2 goes into the number. So off to the side, I'm going to do 84 divided by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times evenly. There's nothing left over, so then I can bring down the 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times with nothing left over. So 2 and 42 equal 84. And since 2 is prime, I'm going to leaf it. That branch of this tree, it's done. It has ended. It has a prime number. Cannot be divided further. But 42 is not a prime number. So that means it can be broken up. It can be branched out.
42.
So what's going to go into 42? Yes?
7 and 6.
7 and 6. 7 times 6 is 42. What's another one? What's another couple factors that go into 42? Tice?
Does this count 42?
Well, so we want something that goes into it. 42 times 1 does, but we want smaller numbers. We always want to break them down smaller.
12.
Anyone? Yeah? 12 times what? So 12 times 4 is really close, but it's not actually. It's not actually. And that's okay. If you can't think of any others, it's fine. I just was going to say any 2 numbers that go into that will work. So if you had divided it by 2, you would have seen that 21 times 2 goes into it. And you could have used those. Whatever numbers you want is what you can use. Are either 6 or 7 prime? Show me on your hands. Which one's prime? How many fingers? You should be showing me 7. So I'm going to leaf it. 7 is prime. It cannot be divided. So we're going to circle it. It's done. And then we're going to break 6. We're going to branch it. What goes into 6?
2 times
2 and 3. And are they prime? They both are.
Yeah, they both are.
So now that our tree has leaves everywhere, it's done. And we can write that 84 equals, and then we're going to write the product of primes. Product means multiply. So 2 times 2, there's 2 2's, times a 3, times a 7. I like to put them in number order. Question? It must have been a stretch. Let's do another one. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 27. Let's find the prime factorization of 27. What numbers go into 27? What numbers? 3 times 9. 3 times 9. Are either of those prime? Show me on your fingers. Which one? 3 is. So I'm going to circle it. I'm going to leaf it. That side is done branching out. I'm going to go to the 9 and break it up. What goes into 9? 3 times 3. Remember, we're multiplying. And those are both prime. So 27, written as a product of primes, looks like 3 times 3 times 3. Or, how else could we write it?
9.
Anybody?
Couldn't you put 9?
No. 3 times 3 times 3 isn't 9 though, right? 3 plus 3 plus 3 is. Exponent.
18.
Exponent is my clue. To the third power, there were 3 of them. So we could write 3 to the third power. Either one of those is true. That's okay, Tice. We're gonna get you good at it. All right, Tice, this one's yours. 24. 24. Give me any 2 numbers. Don't listen to anyone, I just want yours. Any 2 numbers when multiplied equal 24.
2 and 12.
2 and 12. That's not what I would have picked. But it's not wrong. Okay? It's definitely true. And 2 is prime. 2 is prime. So now I'm going to focus on 12. What 2 numbers go into 12 when multiplied? Not Tice this time. Someone else. Jesse, what do you got? 6 and 2. 2 is still prime. I wouldn't have picked those numbers either. But they're still true. They're still true. And 6, we've already done, is 2 and 3. That's the only way. So 24 equals 1, 2, 3 2's. So 2 times 2 times 2. And 1, 3. Or, how else could we write that? 2 to the third power times 3. Good job. Absolutely. Okay. Any questions? Prime factorization. Okay, we're going to do one more together. I'm going to solve it quietly, and I want you to try to solve it without my help. So if you get stuck, look up at the screen, but try to do it on your own. Does that make sense? So this normally, I would say take out your whiteboards. We're going to do this on your whiteboards. But we're not prepared today. Shh. So just put it in your notes, okay? Here we go. Last one. It's a big one. 450. Shh. Focus. 450. Again, if you're stuck, look up, but try it on your own. Do your best to focus. I know that it's loud. How are we doing on this one? So it ended in a 0. Remember that divisibility rule? If it ends in a 0, that means 10 and 5 go into that number. So I started with 10, and then I divided them down from there in my tree. How do we feel about this? Are we ready for our own practice problems? Here's your homework for today. It's on page 96. You have time to get started right now. Anything you don't finish will be homework. Are you on page 96? Can you look at it with me? I haven't said yet. We're going to do page 96, 18 to 25 all.